She let me do her. She let me do her.
Good afternoon. Let's do a sound check. Welcome to the Wyatt Live, 1 p.m. Let me see if I can get the, okay, there we are. First, let me just say this before I get started. Welcome and thank you for showing and being here and giving me a little bit of your time. We're going to do a short show today. I'm a little tied up on some things, but I wanted to come in here. Sounds crispy. Thank you, Roz Solutions. Thank you, Angela Kinney. Thank you for everybody that dropped in today. And I mean everybody. I got a little bit going on today, but I wanted to come in here. It was no way that I was going to not come today. Okay. There was no way I was not going to come in here and thank everybody that reached out to me on my birthday on Friday. And those that sent notes, little postings and all of that, man, listen, that go a long way for a guy like me. Whenever they're like, my kids ask me, Dad, what you want for your birthday? What you want for Christmas? I'm a really easy guy to please when it come down to gifts. I don't want anything like, I don't want anything that I can open. I mean, I get it, but I don't have to have it. You understand what I'm saying? I know there's a lot of people that are like that. You get to a point in life where, I don't know what it is. I don't have to have gifts. I don't have to open up something. And there's nothing wrong with getting gifts, but it's the compassion, it's the love, it's the care, it's showing me that you care means more to me than anything that I can open up in a box with gift wrap. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. Me saying that, I just want to let everybody know that reached out and said happy birthday in any kind of way means a lot to me. That's the best gift that a guy like me can open. I mean, save your wrapping paper, save your boxes, save your money. Because for someone like me, it doesn't cost anything to make me happy. Like when you just say, hey, have a blessed day, or, happy birthday, Wyatt, just thinking about you. That means a lot to me. And, I just want to say thank you from the heart to anyone that reached out. You didn't have to send me a personal message or anything like that. It was just the acknowledgement that you knew and that you took the couple seconds to just say, even if you did, isn't it an AI generated happy birthday on YouTube and on Facebook and social media? even if you took the 3 seconds that it took to do that, you took 3 seconds out of your life to say happy birthday to me and have a great day or whatever it was. And that means more to me than any gift that you could possibly give me. So I want to thank those that did. Those that didn't, it's all gravy. I'm not mad at you. It's not about that. It's about just knowing that there are people that acknowledge you on your birthday. There used to be a time, let me tell you this. Y'all probably remember this. I came on the show one time, and this is weird because I used to do this and I had to stop. I'm gonna be honest. I don't do this anymore. A couple years ago, who remember this conversation? A couple years ago, I said, um, every morning when I'm getting ready in the morning, when I come back from my run and I come in the house and I get ready for my shower and things of that nature. Boy, y'all so wrong on them numbers. I'm seeing these birthday amounts. Bro, y'all putting social security numbers up there instead of birthdays. Y'all look crazy with them big ass tall numbers. And I know who doing it. And I tell you what, you sneak dissing. I'm letting it, I'm letting it go by. But trust me, I will remember. Bless you too. But anyway, I remember a couple years ago, um, when I would get ready in the mornings, come in from my runs, and I would sit there in the bathroom, literally, and you know how on your Facebook it'll say such and such has a birthday today. Now, keep in mind, I probably have 5,000 Facebook friends, but I don't know 10% of them. All right. I mean, I probably only know maybe 200 people out of 5,000 or 7,000, whatever's on my Facebook page. I probably only know a couple hundred people personally. But every day I would take the time to say happy birthday to this person. I didn't even know him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know him. I would just send that happy birthday. And the only reason why I would do that is because I know how important it is. But let's look at them putting social security numbers down. Look at Tracy. Tracy, I seen your little sneak this before on my suit. You know I ain't gonna let that pass, right? I seen it. Oak tree. You thought I didn't see that? Okay, we got your ass. I got you. We ain't gonna say nothing about that Michael Jackson beaded ass jacket you had on at the damn Fay Apartments reunion. I damn near cut my finger off. I was about to file a lawsuit on you for negligence. them damn spikes and shit you had coming out of that jacket that night. I just wanted to take a picture. I was trying to hug sis, give her a little picture, and I cut myself on the damn jacket. I was like, damn, I start bleeding. Don't act like it's not true. I'm speaking facts. I'm just playing. I'm kidding with you, Tracy. Don't be getting mad at me. I heard you shoot shade at my suit, so I had to, deliver a little bit back. That all being said, man, I remember taking the day. Yeah, she remember that jacket. And I got pictures. We have pictures. So we have receipts. We had a ball that night. A lot of dancing, like reminiscing, a lot of weight watching. Like when we was little, growing up in the faith, we were little. You feel me? We were little. It ain't nothing like 30 years or 40 years later and seeing your friends when you were 98 pounds. And then you add a couple hundred onto that 98 and they look totally different. Now you got a 298-pound friend, some 350, whatever. It don't matter. We were cool, but we were shorties. We was little dudes. Everybody was cool. You know what I mean? But 100 pounds later, things get a little different. And 200 pounds, y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, I used to every morning just stroll and hit happy birthday to people I didn't even know. And I'm like, damn, this is taking like 30 minutes of my time every morning. And I don't even know these folks. But I had this thing in my heart that was like, look, it don't always take somebody that's real cool with you to send a happy birthday for you to feel good about that happy birthday. Sometimes, just like when I read mine on Friday, I looked at some names and I'm like, damn, I didn't even know that person knew me. So I didn't even know they knew me or anything, but and they probably don't. They probably just did what I did that morning on those mornings and was just basically saying, happy birthday. It's your day. Have a great day. I don't know you, but have a great day. And it feels the same. It feels the same. So thank you. I'll get off the birthday thing. Thank you. I'll see another next year. Now, listen, just to be sure, let's be clear. Next year, I'll be turning the big 40. All right. So get ready because we're going to do something special on my 40th birthday. This year, next year, when I turn 40, I'm turning the dirty 40. Okay. So 40, 41. Yeah, 41. Let's get it right. All right. So listen, couple things going on that I like to talk about. Shout out to Dave Parker. Let me knock that off my list to talk about real fast. Dave Parker, one of my favorite players. He was the only thing that played in Pittsburgh that I ever liked. Dave Parker from Cincinnati, Ohio. I don't know much about Dave Parker's Cincinnati ties, like as a kid, because to be honest with you, growing up, I never knew that Dave Parker was from Cincinnati. Dave Parker was one of my favorite baseball players for just being Dave Parker, the baseball player. You feel what I'm saying to you? The Cobra is what they used to call him. I was a baseball kid. I loved baseball. You know what I'm saying? And I love, believe it or not, the Reds were my team, but believe it or not, I love the Pittsburgh Pirates because of their uniforms. And out in the Fay Apartments, there was this group called Six Men. All right, they had uniforms just like the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I wanted to play for that team. But before hating was a thing, there was a guy who used to hate on me because I used to play for OIC, which we was the best team in the city. But I really wanted to play for Six Men because Six Men had the dopest uniforms. They had Pittsburgh Pirate uniforms. I wanted to play on that team. The son of the guy who started the team, Six Men Tigers. You know who I'm talking about, then, Ben. Damn, I was about to talk dirty about them too. He might know these folks, but I ain't got nothing bad to say. But listen, Six Men Tigers. That's right. They were up. The son lived in the Fay Apartments. His dad started that team. His dad owned the store across the street from Swartz. See, y'all wasn't supporting black-owned businesses. Everybody went and got their bologna and all that old shit from Swartz instead of going across the street, you know what I'm saying, and spending money with the black-owned little pony keg over there. And he eventually went out of business because y'all let Swartz get all the money. But that all being said, I would go with my friend. I can't even remember his name. That's how long ago it was. But I really wanted to play for that team. But for some odd reason, him and I would play, like he would never tell his dad I wanted to play. He knew my capabilities because him and I used to play baseball against the wall all the time in the Fay. You know how you throw you paint the square on the wall, and that was the strike zone. We played baseball all day, every day. All right. And we would hit and throw, if it hit the building, it was a home run. We had all these little different things. Dude wanted me to come play on his father's team because I think I would have outshined him. I never said that in public, never said it out loud. It's always been on my heart. Why wouldn't you want your best friend who out here playing baseball with you every day, all day, every day, to be on your team with your father the coach, unless you want some hating shit? So I went and played for the best team in the city and made us even better. And that was OIC up at Roll Hill. Now, who could touch us? Who could touch us? The only team that could touch us in baseball was Ron Craig, because he had down the way, he had Bank Street. He had Bank Street. So what did Ron Craig do? He came and got the two best players off of OIC. He came and got Wyatt, and he came and got Donald Broach. Y'all hear me talking about Donald Broach all the time. Me and Broach was the dopest up in the West Side. I don't care what nobody say. We was the dopest baseball players on the West Side. Ron Craig knew us from kids, and he came and got us, and we all went downtown and played on Bank Street. Killed everybody, won everything, run everything in the city, and went all the way to Gatlinburg and won all of that. Dayton boys couldn't mess with us. Columbus boys couldn't mess with us. Nobody could mess with us, so they had to take us out of town and play the hard throwing ass white boys, is what they used to call them back in our day. It was one thing to be a black team. We was fast, coordinated. We were really, 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 really dope. All right. But then it was something about the white teams. They had the pretty bad, nice looking ass uniforms, but they threw real hard. They throw the ball real hard. That's all right. Our skills outlasted all that. Ben Thomas said, y'all used to cheat like a mofo, old ass kids. No, we only had one guy that was older. That's all. I think what you have mixed up with us is this. Coach Craig used to recruit kids. He would go get the kids in every neighborhood that was the best on the team. And he just built a dynasty team. And y'all thought that we were going to get players that were too old because every position, and this is not like something common in baseball. If you follow baseball, you always put your weaker players on the right side. Your right fielder couldn't catch that well. You know what I'm saying? Anything on the right, your second baseman wasn't really good enough to be a shortstop. We didn't have that problem. All 9 of our players could play and start on any team. The right field was strong, center field was dope, left field dope. Everybody was dope on our team because we were an all-star team, a Cincinnati team, basically. Ron Craig put that together. He knew us from little bitty boys. And he's seen us elevate, get better and better and better. So he came and got me and Donald Broach from OIC. We were unstoppable. Great team. Great days in my day. Great days. I would love to see some kids outside playing baseball. Shit, I just want to see some kids running around playing Killer Man. And I don't mean that literally. That's a football game, y'all. For those that maybe didn't go outside back in the day, which we all did. I'm just saying, some people, you can't say play Killer Man these days because that means some different shit. But I'm talking about when we played outside, we played Killer Man, bounce on the bounce. What is that? Bounce on the bat on the bounce. We played Mother May I. We did a whole lot of shit together as a family outside. See what I'm saying? Outside as a group. I don't see that. Do you guys see that? Maybe it's just my neighborhood. I don't see that anymore. And I know why. It's hugely about technology. Kids can go to Paris through technology today. They don't need the games that we had when we were children. They don't need those games. They have better things, which makes them lazy, and it makes them, it might make them smarter if they utilize that technology to be smart. It might make them a little bit more advanced, but I think they have. I think a lot of kids have today. This is just my opinion. I think a lot of kids have. I don't know. I think they have issues with getting along. You know what I mean? Like learning how to wait their turn, learning how to be patient with other people. The conflict resolution is a lot different because kids are used to being on their own, and isolated. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. That's my opinion. I just don't see kids outside playing and doing the things that we used to do as a kid. Like the basketball courts are not as full as they used to be back in the day. The hoop courts, you know what I mean? Like I know it's winter time now in Cincinnati, but I'm talking about in the summer. It used to be you go to a neighborhood, shit, them courts was full. And I mean, it would be a lot, it would be 4-5 games you backed up before you actually got on the court. I don't really see that. Maybe it's because I don't get out. Somebody tell me that, oh no, Wyatt is still there, it's still like that. I just don't see the younger kids out there like that. There is a park where I live, down, probably a couple miles away from my house. I do see it's a school. I do see some kids out there in the summertime shooting baskets, but they not playing full court. It's not like that. They just out there, doing some old junky ass layups and shooting and just looking crazy. But they're not out there playing competitive. They're not doing it like that. We used to play 21. We'd run our shoes down. Where them fellas at? Where y'all at, fellas? Where the 21 players at? Where y'all at? Oh, bro. And then we would go to different neighborhoods and play 21. Except Evanston. You couldn't go to Evanston and play 21 because they were sore losers. Sorry. Sorry, E-Town. Sorry, y'all, but y'all know that to be true. You go to Evanston, they always start some other shit. You go to get the girls, whatever. I don't know. But if you play basketball in Evanston, when they lose, they want to fight. We ain't gonna mention Millville because Millville didn't even have courts. Y'all had courts, but you didn't have rims and shit. You didn't have any, we couldn't play basketball there with no rims. You had the basketball court, but you never had rims. For some odd reason, the pole was there, but the basketball rims, I never understood that. All right, so listen. Shout out to Dave Parker making it to the Baseball Hall of Fame. You guys know that I was really against the Baseball Hall of Fame. Being a baseball kid, loving baseball my whole life. I was against I was against the Hall of Fame. And the reason why I was against the Hall of Fame is because I didn't think it was authentic. I didn't think that it was true blue. And the reason why is because baseball was one of the most segregated, openly segregated sports in the world, in the United States. It was openly racist in its day. And they didn't let black baseball players play. What I loved about that, there is some greatness in this, is someone started a Negro League, which that was like that right there is probably what gave me my jump start in life of how to think, when it comes down to somebody don't want you at their table. But what I understood the Baseball Hall of Fame of being is the greatest baseball players with the highest statistics in certain areas, hitting, you know, stolen bases, punch outs, things of that nature, strikeouts. And when you don't have black players or Latino players competing in your league, how could you say that the people that you put in your Hall of Fame are the best? How could you say that? And I don't mean any disrespect because I love me some Pete Rose, because Pete Rose is one of those that the black guys brought into, you know what I mean? You know how they say, you the one brought the white boy to the community. Well, yeah, Pete Rose was one of those that was with the black dudes all the time. They didn't like that. White players didn't like that Pete Rose hung out with Joe Morgan and them guys, but he really did. But I didn't like the Baseball Hall of Fame because it did not have the Satchel Pages in there. All right. It didn't have all of the best players in the sport. So how can you call these guys the hit kings? How could you call them the home run kings? How could you call them the kings at something and they're not competing against everybody? So I never respected the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame. A few years ago, they brought in the statistics, but then those are blurred as well if you really think about it. Because to be honest, and I know this is going to sound a little bad for some people to hear, to be honest with you, I think all the numbers would have been shifted if they would have been playing against each other. I don't like the fact that Satchel Paige strikeout amounts or his hitting numbers go up against the players that were just going up against him. He might have had more home runs or stolen bases if he was playing against Major League Baseball catchers. He might have had a better hitting average. He might have had 200 or 300 more hits if he was playing against the competition Pete Rose and them was playing against. I know it's a different era, but y'all know what I'm saying. If Major League Baseball players were playing against Negro League players could have been higher. The numbers could have been more. They could have been less. But I'm just saying we'll never know. So I never respected the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. It had a bad taste in my mouth. I just never understood how everybody in there who's on the top didn't have an asterisk, especially once they opened the books up for Negro League players to come in. And that was just something that I never liked. But however, I'm very happy that Dave Parker, my wife and I met Dave Parker probably about 4 years ago. It was definitely before COVID. We were at dinner at I don't know what it was called then, but it's called Hard Rock Casino now. We were at dinner. Dave Parker was there. And you would have thought that I'd never seen this man before in my life. Now, Dave Parker has had some health problems. He still has some health problems. And it broke my heart because you got to understand, Dave Parker was the big cobra. He was the big, strong dude that was knocking the ball over the fence. Yeah, I love me some Dave Parker. And here's the thing. I remember we were in the boys club, and I remember the boys club sent us to a baseball game. All right. They, you know how you get good grades or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. They sent us, we were at the Keystone Club, and the Keystone Club, they got us some baseball tickets. And Lord have mercy, it was the Cincinnati Reds versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Dave Parker was playing for the Pirates that year. And man, Dave Parker played right field. And I mean, he could go get the ball. To be a big guy like that, I had a whole different respect for that guy. Because not only could he knock the ball everywhere, but he wasn't a great outfielder, but they didn't put him at first base because he was a hustler. He played the sport. He played hard wherever you put him. Right field was his spot. Shout out to Dave Parker, please. Somebody let Dave Parker know, who may know him, that Wyatt said congratulations and much love, man. I've been a fan of Dave Parker. I probably have about 10 baseballs. I only have about 3 of them left, but I've probably had him sign 10 baseballs over the years. I'm probably that obnoxious guy to say, just one more, Dave, just one more, man. Just sign this one more. I love Dave Parker. So congratulations to Dave Parker in the Hall of Fame, Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. It's getting better. They're putting better better players in there, people that I can appreciate, people that I seen. So shout out to him. All right, so one other thing. What was it? Oh, what's going on? I don't really want to talk about this right now. I don't have enough information. What's going on with Cincinnati Public School? They're having a school board meeting tonight with this realignment thing. People have a problem with that? Enlighten me. Let me know what's going on. Is there a problem with Cincinnati Public School realigning the schools or the kids going to different schools? I'd like to know what are the pros and the cons of that. You know what I mean? Or I really don't know. I guess I'll read up on it. I was gone pretty much the week before when all this was coming out. So I don't really know all the things that people are saying, what the problem is. But I would think that when you brought this new um, um, what is she? What is she's the superintendent. I would think that she knows what she's doing. I mean, you got to do what's best for the school and the budgets. I don't know. I'm not supporting it, nor am I saying it's crazy. I'm just saying that these are people who know they should know the logistics. They should know what's best for the realignment of the schools. You would think that's what they get paid the big bucks for. They should know how the budget is running, and if we continue to send these kids to this location, it's depleting our budget, and this is what needs to happen to make this thing work so the kids can get adequate education. That's what I would think. That's what I thought you put these people in place for. I thought the school board is supposed to hire people to make proper and adequate decisions for our children. That's what I thought. So somebody tell me where there's a problem. I can't argue it right now. I don't know if, I just don't know. I just don't get it. I know that no matter what happens, somebody's going to be mad. No matter what happens, somebody's going to be happy. That's just how the world goes around. I don't think Cincinnati Public School can do anything to make everybody happy. It's just not going to happen. We live in a negative world. Somebody going to find something negative about a positive move no matter what's going on at Cincinnati Public School. All right, somebody let me know if you want to DM it or say it in the chat. That's cool too. But I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to get some information. I'm gonna knock that off my list. Somebody tell me what's going on with the school board. I know they meet tonight. Somebody just let me know. Stephen Speed is usually on that type of stuff. If you guys don't mind, let me read his comment. He says 75% of students being shuffled to other schools. Okay, is that a bad thing? Because I know we have a problem. I know Cincinnati Public School had a problem with the busing, right? Wasn't that an issue? They couldn't get on the Greyhounds. Are these elementary, junior high, and high school? See, when you say 75%, I would think that might be all grade levels. So just let me know. I just don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is if it's some type of redistricting. Now, I could see some parents might want to say something like, well, I don't want those students going with these students because those students going to slow us down or something of that nature. I could hear people arguing like that. That's why some parents pull their kids out of certain school districts, and go to private school or choose to go to Montessori or something different. And that's usually because, it's not always the curriculum. Sometimes it's the culture. That could be one of the things. Let's see. What's that other one? Angela Kinney said TLG strategy. Oh, Black Russia, can you call Wyatt and give him a rundown on the CPS redistricting? That would be cool. I would listen to that. Let me see make sure the phone lines. Yeah, I would be okay with that. That way you can give me an idea of what's going on, because I don't have a child in CPS. I don't have any elementary, high school, or junior high kids anymore. So I don't really keep up with stuff like that. But I'd like to know what's going on with the redistricting and what's the problem. For me, from the outside looking in, I would think that they're probably doing some type of strategy that makes it convenient and budget friendly for the school district. That's what I would think. But we'll see. Maybe somebody will let me know. All right, so listen, here's another thing I want to share. This is not the greatest news in the world, but I want to do it because this is important. It's important to me because I have a 20-year-old daughter. Well, she's 19. She'll be 20. She'll be 20 April 31st, in April. And I don't know why this is not like a lot of maybe some people have been talking about it. I don't know. I've been out of the loop. I have not been watching social media or shows, TV shows, radio, podcasts. The last few days I've done one of those cleansings where I don't get on social media, and I haven't been keeping up with shows and things of that nature. But as of yesterday, this young lady was shot and killed in Mount Airy, which is the Coleraine area. And that area has turned over something different in the last few years. And to see that someone killed a 20-year-old young lady, that hurts. That hits home with me because I have a 19-year-old who's about to be 20. And this little girl right here reminds me of my baby. And if you're a parent, you can find your child in this child. If you have a 20-year-old or a 19 or an 18-year-old, you could probably find your child in this child. And it hurts to hear that. That just sounds so degrading to me. And I feel so bad for that little girl's parents, her family, to see a 20-year-old found in Mount Airy and, shot, and nobody has any answers and nobody's talking about it. Let me at least show you a picture. So if you guys need if you could share some information, it would be great. Let me get the information, what they put out. This is her here. Her name, I'm sorry, excuse me. Cincinnati police say her name is Lanya Dawson. It says here on a news break from Brittany Harris of Channel 19 News. They say, "Do you know who killed Lanya Dawson?" Cincinnati police say the 20-year-old was found around 12:30 this morning. That was yesterday, in the 4900 block of Trail Ridge Road with a gunshot wound. I don't I don't know why these type of things are happening. I can't justify it. I can't say anything, but this is a tragedy, a 20-year-old baby. If anybody has any information over in the Mount Airy area, call call CPD, Homicide Unit and Investigation, at area code 513-352-3542 with any information in regards to Lania. This is not something that I like to do, but this just happened yesterday, and she's only 20 years old, and I can always a 20-year-old, I could find my baby in her. If anybody knows my youngest named Trinity, God, I see her in this little girl, and I couldn't imagine being the parent. I couldn't imagine being her dad. And what I want to do is, you know, um, it's just not, hold on, let me get that in. It's not normal. That's not a normal thing. 20-year-olds out here, a little girl in Mount Airy. She was over in Mount Airy, I believe Mount Airy Woods. And please, if you have any information, contact the Cincinnati Police Department. If you heard anything, seen anything, um, just step up. This type of stuff has to stop. Just step up. Somebody know. She wasn't out there by herself. She was not out there by herself. Somebody know what's going on. All right, somebody know who she was with last or what group. I don't know, but we got to stop that. Let me just go on. Let me move on. The CEO who was shot and killed in New York City. It looks like they have a suspect in custody that they're bringing back to New York. I don't know exactly where they found him. I think they found him down south, and they have a suspect in custody. It was just a matter of time. For people who said that it was a professional hit, I don't mind talking about certain aspects of this little thing, but what I don't do is I don't like to jump all out in front of this stuff, because number one, we're not part of the investigation. We don't know what the police have. We don't know who witnessed what. We don't know a lot of things. So I try not to give opinion on things that I just absolutely know nothing about. Like, I'm sure there's an investigation going on, and we're so far out of that loop of the investigation, it's hard to comment. And I know it's fair game when it hits the news, and I know a lot of people love to play the wishing game or the spec game. I know a lot of people do that, but it kind of fries me up a little bit. It fries my brain a little bit when I hear all the things. And here's what I've heard lately. And I'm gonna try to turn this negative into a positive any way I possibly can. So bear with me a little bit. I'm still stuck on the little girl. Um, I've been hearing things about how the CEO of this insurance company is, the insurance companies are bad, 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 bad insurance companies. They play too many games, this and this and that. You don't even really know if this is insurance related. We really don't know. There's some things that might make it look like it is, and that might be purposely put in there so it'll look like that, so it'll throw somebody off or whatever. But I've heard people talk about too many claims get denied, this and this and this and that. You don't even know who this man was. Now, I'm not going to put anything bad on this man. Like, I'm just giving you some ideas that the shit that gets you killed out here is not always the things you do on your job. Okay. It's not. So, what if this individual had a gambling problem? What if this individual was messing with some man's wife? Or what if he was having a relationship with somebody, the person that shot him? You just never know. So, to hear all these speculations and talking about how insurance companies don't pay and this, you really don't know if that's the case. So, if you want to have insurance company don't pay conversations, then just have that, but don't incorporate this murder to it. And I know there's been some bullet shells that had some words from a book that could have been on that could have been a throw off. You just never know. If that man was with my wife, I might think like that to try. Okay, they're gonna be looking for somebody that was looking for a claim. They ain't gonna look for somebody he was messing with their wife or their daughter or something like that. They ain't gonna do that. They ain't, I'm gonna throw them off. First of all, let me just say this to you guys. That was not a professional hit. That was not a professional hit. A professional hitter, look, I guess you could call it a professional hit because if they got money, I don't care if you paid him $200. If you paid him $200, he was a professional hitter. But he was not a professional hitter when it came down to covering his tracks and doing what he needed to do. Professional hitters don't work like that. They don't leave that much evidence. They don't smile in the cameras. They don't go into Starbucks and leave, evidence. They don't drink bottled water and throw the bottled water down. Hitters know cameras are everywhere. Hitters don't go into establishments where they have the same clothes on that they were wearing when they committed a murder. Hitters don't do that. So this was an amateur, this was a showtime, it was an amateur moment from somebody that shot somebody. This is hitters don't hit where they can be seen like that, not professionals. So I'm just saying this. It just doesn't seem to be all the things that a lot of people are talking about. Then they caught him. They caught his book bag. They found his book bag, and it had a bunch of Monopoly money in it. Okay, I'm still trying to find a correlation in all of that. So it sounds like some dumb shit that's going on, to be honest with you. And it sounds like somebody who has a grief or a problem with this man himself. This is not somebody that somebody hired and all that. This is somebody that has a problem with this person. And we don't even know if they hit the right person. You see what I'm saying? You don't know if it was the right person we don't know any of that. So when you sitting back here talking about this insurance claims and insurance companies play these games with people and all that, you just talking. You just saying some shit. You don't even know that he could have thought that guy was somebody else. You just never know. Or if I'm not mistaken, there was a lot of insurance people there. They were having some type of conference there. So this could have been a random. I don't care who come out of the building. I don't care who going over to that meeting. I'm gonna shoot whoever coming because they affiliated with the insurance business. It could have been any of that. So I just wanted to address that. I don't think anybody's wrong for having their opinions. I don't consider, your opinions to be wrong. I just don't like when people make all these allegations and then it starts talking about money because, the insurance companies. And now we got all these different narratives floating around with no information. And I just, if people want to take their time and rip and run about off of information that they don't have, feel free to do so. But I just wanted to share my little 2 cents in there, if I may. All right. Um, here's something that I want to talk about. Here's something I want to talk about. How do you guys feel about this accusation on Jay-Z? How do you feel about Jay-Z being accused of having inappropriate dealings with a 13-year-old. If I'm not mistaken, it's rape of a 13-year-old girl back in 2000, 24 years ago. For me, I don't care what the year was. All right, you could say it was 2022, 2000. You could say it was 1998. I don't really care what the year was. I care more about the evidence and the circumstance, things that the circumstances of the situation. I care about all of that. What do you think? How many of you guys think that this is a true thing? Because you got to understand. Let's go back a little bit. This same accuser accused him like 4 years ago, maybe three or 4 years ago, in another civil case. But it never made the media. It was directed towards his legal team. It was directed towards, Jay-Z's lawyers, his group. And they said, if you don't pay us out this pay, then we'll make it go public. And Jay stood on it and was like, bro, I didn't do this. Do what y'all got to do. Do whatever you want to do. Feel how you want to feel. And if I will fight it, bring it on. That's what he said back then. And nothing came of it. And then soon as Diddy gets in trouble, here come that lawsuit again. You got to understand, this is not a criminal case at this point. It's a civil case. They're trying to sue him. Now, I don't want to make it sound like I don't believe that he's guilty because it's all about money. I don't want to run down that rabbit hole again. But there's some questions that I have. First of all, and as a father, how do I allow my now this is not me blaming the victim and all that. Let's just implement a little common sense here that most parents would ask. And I've seen people make the same statement on the air, and in little posts and things of that nature. How do you as a parent allow a 13-year-old to go to a grown-up party and be amongst all these men? Because they were young men at that age. I mean, shit, what, 20s, early 20s? How do you let that happen? Now, I'm going to give you a little idea of why I think, and I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to say it anyway. And this is my opinion. I don't have no facts. I think it's a strong possibility that he's guilty. I pay attention to what men like. I pay attention to what guys like. What they're attracted to once is usually what they're attracted to their whole life. I don't know too many guys that fall out of what they like when it comes to women. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to ladies, they generally are the female race, the female. Guys like dark-skinned girls, they generally stay with dark-skinned girls. That's what they like. Guys that like light-skinned girls, they get light-skinned girls, and that's what they be like. That's what they want. And ladies do the same thing, but we're talking about men in this case. There's preferences. And I'm going to tell you something. Here's why I lead to where I go with this. And I'm not saying that he's guilty, but damn it, there's some smoke. There's some smoke around this thing for me. And the reason why I say that is this. You have too many other people that have come forward who are still with us, still alive, who are not alive. Aaliyah, Beyonce. I mean, Jay married his wife, not at an early age, but he was with her. When she was like 16, he was already like 22, 23. I know that sound like, that's too close. You know what I mean? That's not like a 40-year-old messing with a 19 or 18-year-old. This is not the same, Wyatt. But she's not the first youngster that he was messing with back in the day. Now, like I said, this is all just my opinion. I have no facts to back up what I'm saying. But Jay and them, Foxy Brown and all of them were young. I mean, if you look at the history of people like those entertainers who have a plethora of women, they all tend to go with these little young kids. R. Kelly being one of them. R. Kelly would go to McDonald's and pull girls when he was not quite R. Kelly, the major star. But when he first started out in the industry and he was getting hot and this and this and this and that, he was still going to McDonald's picking up little girls. Jay and Dame was messing with Aaliyah. Dame Dash said, now y'all, this is what he said way back when Dame Dash was dating Aaliyah, and he said that Jay-Z raped her. These are not like stories that just now come up to fit this narrative that's happening right now. No, these are stories that went on years ago. Dame just kept it G a little bit. He just didn't go all the way into it until Jay got a little out of hand and kept, brushing him off a little bit. But the truth of the matter is, man, these guys are all affiliated with young girls, bro. All affiliated with young women, young girls. And I see it. Because if you think about it, I can see the correlation. I can see it. And the reason why I can see it is because you ain't even, and look, it ain't even just black dudes and shit like that. It's the entertainment business. I don't know what it is about these highly talented artists or individuals. They have this sick, twisted thing about doing whatever they want to do to people. And for some odd reason, maybe younger people are more acceptive to the bullshit. Like they can jump off nonsense. You know what I'm saying? A creep can be a creep to a kid because a kid don't know no better. Maybe I think it's sick and twisted because I don't see the attraction to a child. But let's not think that it's just our artists. Think about it, man. Elvis married a child. Hugh Hefner was all up in them little young girls, man. Stop it. Jerry Springer, rest his soul, whatever. All of them. All these guys that are talented, that are artists and talented, the people that we look up to and all that old shit. This is why I do not. I'm putting it on the record now. I've been around too many damn celebrities in my life. Some of y'all know that too. You know how I was rolling a few years before I started Wyatt Live. And the reason why I don't bring celebrities on that I know and people like that, I don't bring them on because I don't want y'all thinking that that's who I look up to. That's not what I do. I can't stand people that look up to people they don't know. Images. You looking up to somebody that ain't shit. And I know some of these people ain't shit. And it worked both ways. I know some guys that have very bad reputations on camera, very bad reputations in the industry. But if you get them away from the camera, they'll give you the shirt off their back, literally. They'll bust their ass for you. They'll give you whatever you need. They'll look out for you. They'll do things for you that your own family won't do. I've seen it work both ways. But in most cases, man, to be honest with you guys, I've never been a big person. That's why when I know y'all gonna hate me for saying this shit. But when I start seeing people bring, especially politicians, when they start bringing in influencers, that's why I was so bad on Cardi B that year when she was doing that shit for Joe Biden. Because she was exactly what I thought she was. She was perping, and then a couple years into the administration, and get to going. Now she on the damn TikToks and screaming and hollering on all these social media. Whoever could hear it to, I ain't never gonna endorse another person. This shit is crazy. My people can't afford nothing. But you just told everybody 2 years ago to vote for this person. They gonna make y'all taxes lower. Y'all remember that? Y'all used to go in on that because I knew it was ridiculous. And whenever I see people bring in stars and celebrities, and that go on both sides. Shit, the Trump dude had stars too. Now, I don't know if he paid them 10 million, 5 million. I don't know if he did all of that. Because for some odd reason, they're not talking about what his budget was on his campaign. I don't know how much he paid Kid Rock, if anything. I don't know. But all I'm telling you is, I don't respect people that go get celebrity. Like, it's almost like one of them things where, and I'm not hating on my man MJ. Y'all know I got a collection of MJ shoes. Like I collect I'm a shoe collector. So I'm not hating on MJ, but you can't go get no damn Michael Jordan is not gonna make me drink Gatorade. That don't give Michael Jordan the ability to be Michael Jordan when he was scoring 52 a night. It's not the Gatorade that's doing it, it's his ability. And I've learned that marketing is a masterful move of manipulation. And you got a lot of people that just buy into a lot of marketing. And if they say it long enough, if they tell you, and if you grow up around it, whatever they trying to teach you, they ain't got to show you. They don't have to show you. If what somebody tells you, if they tell you enough, if you see it one time, then you know it's real. You know it's real. So it only takes something to happen one time for you to recognize it and just be like, well, I guess it is true. I guess it is real. My mother told me it was Santa Claus. Y'all know how I am about the Santa Claus joint. Mother told me it was Santa Claus. So what did we do? My mother would take me down to Toes when I was a kid. Take pictures with Santa Claus. Now, this is what's funny about that, if I may. I don't know if y'all know this, but Toes used to have a white and a black Santa Claus. And my mother was always taking me to the black Santa Claus. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? I used to ask her, how did Santa Claus turn black? You know, and she always had these stories because anything my mother told me, I believed. Okay, so, you know, moms don't lie. Mom is my credible source for everything in life. And whatever my mother is teaching me, damn it, that's what I'm riding with. So we would go down to Toes and take a picture with Santa Claus. And there's a whole lot of things. Santa Claus is just the example. What we're taught as youngsters, we generally live with. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with everything else. If you're born hearing it and just saying a small percentage of it, then that's what you think it is. It don't take a whole lot of examples. It don't take a whole lot. It only take a little bit. So we're still there. Some of us think that Gatorade is gonna make us fly. Some of us think that politicians, that superstars are not human. You know what I'm saying? For me to sit back and say, ain't no way Jay-Z not guilty of this. That's Jay-Z. He spit bars. That's ridiculous. Jay-Z is a marketer. He has a brand. That's what it is. Oh, 2025 gonna be different. It's gonna be different over here. I'm gonna lose a lot. You know, remember what I used to say? I used to say I'm gonna lose a few. I'm gonna lose a lot more than a few next year. I love to sneak this in. But yeah, there's too much smoke on this Jay-Z thing. There's a history of allegations. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a supporter of Bill Cosby, but I didn't hear a whole history of how he was doing things. All that shit, the house came tumbling down on one accusation, and then the lawyer who dealt with in the Bill Cosby situation brought 30 people, 30 ladies, all at one time. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I didn't have my ear to the street. Maybe I didn't have my ear to the street enough. But can someone tell me that they had heard that Bill Cosby had a reputation of raping women? Did you hear that over a 30-year period? I never heard that. I never heard it when he was doing the Cosby Show. I never heard it when he was doing anything out here in the public. I never heard it. I never even heard it when he made that statement that turned black people against him that one time. Remember when he made that comment? He went to the black colleges and he made a comment he was on a tour and he said, well, black guys need to pull their pants up. We need to start getting our stuff together. We got to start doing it. He was just he said the same shit that Don Lemonade said when he first got on CNN years ago. Bill Cosby said that same thing pretty much. Not a peep that Bill Cosby was a creep. All I heard back then was how he was bad on what he said about black kids and pulling their pants up and all that. I never heard any accusations about him being a creep to women and dope, putting them to sleep and sexual assaults. I never heard any of that. And just remember this. I'm a big advocate of one person shouldn't get in trouble when it's a system. Don't sacrifice one individual when there's a system. A lot of the times that Bill Cosby shit, they're trying to say that it was at the Playboy Bunny Mansion. Now, I know they're saying that some of the things that happened in hotel rooms, but these people are saying they met him at the Playboy Mansion. There was even some accusations that it happened at the Playboy Mansion. So why wasn't the Playboy Mansion and that estate pulled into those arguments or why wasn't they even mentioned in anything? And I'm talking about in any of the lawsuits, the civil suits. Why didn't Hugh Hefner face any of that? Yeah. For years, we heard R. Kelly was doing it. For years. So it was no surprise. It was a surprise as hell when we heard Bill Cosby. That man had done nothing for the black community but empower it. All those HBCUs that had libraries and all them donated computers and millions of dollars and them stones and all the stuff that he was supplying to the HBCUs, all you got to do is demonize this man, and now he's shit. He's nothing. Don't even pay attention to him. He didn't put out all this positive content from the Cosby Show. Show me a black family that was better than the Cosby Show on television other than Good Times. And I say they come a close second. Jefferson's is the third. The Cosbys had their shit together. You really think people wanted to see that? And then go off and do a spin-off show of these kids going off to college to be great? Different world. You really think they want this man to continue to show? Oh my God. We can't wait for this dude to say something to demonize him. But enough marketing will turn him into a devil. And that's what they did. You didn't see any allegations of Bill Cosby in any of that stuff for 30 years. Not one person gonna come forward. We've been hearing about Jay-Z forever. We've been hearing about R. Kelly forever. Think about that. I'm not saying that he's not guilty. I just think that there's a little shadiness. You got a couple guys who you allow to just do our girls dirty, run through them and do them real bad, and they allow it to happen. And then you got one man who, and they never get charged till a little bit later, like late in life, 20 years in, 25 years in of doing this shit. And they still had active situations going on. Do you know that R. Kelly still had little girls on his team when they came and got him? He still had little young girls on his team. Jay, there's too much smoke, bro. You were involved with little young girls way before. We've been hearing it. We've been seeing it. You dated them. And the reason why you distanced yourself from R. Kelly on that tour is because he was hot for the shit that y'all was doing. He was hot. And I mean hot. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Street hot. Jay got to distance himself from somebody like R. Kelly. That was a bad business move for him at that time. To go out on that tour, that's why it didn't last long. Y'all remember when R. Kelly and Jay-Z had that album together and they was out on tour? Sorry about that, guys. I got messages coming through. That's my daughter. Yeah, there's too much smoke right now for me to believe that there's nothing there. There's too much smoke. Yeah. I believe. Let me go to the phone lines real fast. My apologies. Let me go to the phone lines real fast so I can go on to my final thing that I'm gonna talk about. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, it's Black Russia. What's up, Wyatt?
Black Russia. What's good with you, brother? Thanks for holding. I'm sorry to have you holding so long.
Oh no, it's cool, bro. I was enjoying what you had to say because, I mean, for real, people don't understand. Like Jay-Z, all up here, he been doing that.
I don't know, but it kind of sounds like it. It seems like it. Every
Well,
girl
you
that
gotta look at the old. Did you see the old interview he did with Luke?
with Luke,
Yeah.
no.
All right, so check this out. So it was an interview. Somebody just put it out. I think this morning, but it's an old interview, like when Jay-Z had first hit the scenes in the early '90s.
Okay.
So Luke and Jay-Z sitting next to each other, chit-chatting about the industry, right?
Okay.
So Jay-Z's right, there's two girls, and excuse the vulgarity, but there's two young girls, basically making out. One of them's eating the other one out. They look like they young too. Like, I don't know if they're adults, but they probably 18, 19, something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then on the other side of Luke, on his left, was two girls. They had their clothes on, and all of a sudden, Luke told them, "Hey, look, you see what these girls over here is doing? Y'all need to take y'all shirts off and show them titties." Like, and they took them off and showing it, and they sitting there laughing, him and Jay-Z, and they rapping about whatever. I'll have to send you the link. But this is like one of them old videos back in the '90s where shit was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, so I seen that this one, like, oh yeah, Jay-Z got problems. Because I know if he got a video like this with Luke, I'm sure there's 100 videos out here of him being somewhere like this back in the '90s when nobody was really holding people accountable.
Gotcha.
Now the ages, I don't know, but yeah, Jay-Z like that.
Yeah. Now the last thing I heard about Luke, I know he has a podcast, or I don't know if it's a podcast, but he goes on live a lot. I don't really rock with it. I don't really know, Luke, he is who it is. He's 2 Live Crew guy. But the last time he came to Cincinnati, he got fined. He damn near got arrested for doing some vulgar stuff on the stage. And I'm talking about, this was a few years ago. It wasn't back in his 2 Live Crew days. I seen on Facebook Live him doing some oral things on stage at a club in Cincinnati. This was within 5 years ago. And he got fined and damn near arrested. That's the last thing I heard about Luke.
Man, last time I tried to check out Luke was back in Surf Cincinnati days. I was still in high school.
Okay.
He had canceled though. But like, yeah, everybody was up there trying to see Luke and 2 Live Crew. Like, that was it.
Yeah, they were hot when we were kids. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna lie. People used to want. That's when I was a DJ, and boy, they had some songs. They had some songs that it'll get people ass on the dance floor. But that's why I'm.
Mama.
Yeah. But it wasn't the song that you couldn't. My grandmother couldn't stand the fact that I had them albums. I'm gonna be honest with you. She heard some vulgar stuff, and I wish I would have listened to her back then, and I wish we wouldn't have all fallen down the road, this rabbit hole that we're in now, because we're the pioneers, not me so speak or you so speak, but those guys are. If we would have never made them celebrity and made their music hot, it wouldn't be relevant to this day.
Right.
That style. Hey, Black Russia, can you do me a favor?
What's up?
Somebody called you out to call me to give me an idea what's going on with this alignment. Do you have time to tell me what that looked like for Cincinnati Public School?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can outline that for you.
Okay.
So check this out. Cincinnati Public Schools is going through a restructuring. So they're about $200 million short. And they can't find the money to pay all their bills. So what they have to do is a restructure of the entire district. It's going to impact about 10 to 15,000 kids out of the 35,000 got a 10. And as most people know, 63% of Cincinnati Public Schools is African American kids.
Okay.
So what's going on is, and they've already done some of this last school year, and I guess people were kind of asleep about it because it didn't impact them yet. But now this phase 2 is impacting so many other kids. Now this is when you hear everybody starting to scream about it. So, and I'm a parent too. I have my youngest child actually is a kindergartner at Evanston Academy, Old Parham.
Okay.
and he's autistic, he's nonverbal, so he has some special needs there. And so I, put it upon myself to read up on this plan because I was under the impression that it would impact him. And so for his school at Evanston Academy, they're basically going to turn Evanston Academy into Withrow Junior High School. So what they're going to do is they're going back to the model when they had junior high schools. Because apparently in some of these schools, or I would say majority of them, with a few exceptions like Wanda Hills and Performing Arts, the junior high kids don't know how to act.
Okay.
So they feel like setting the junior high kids, the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, separate from the high schoolers is going to calm down on some behavior problems and help with their financial situation.
Okay.
So, like I'll take my son's school, for example. He go to Evanston, like I said. It's K through 6 right now. Okay. So what they're going to do is they're going to shift those K through 6 kids over to Frederick Douglass School, and then they're going to shift with those 7th and 8th graders over to Evanston Academy to become a junior high school. Now, the problem with that is now you look at Frederick Douglass, it's already got K through 6 in there. They about to throw more K through 6 in there, creating bigger classrooms. And I was also told, because my kid is special needs, that there is no guarantee that he'll have autistic services at this school that he's going to get moved to, Frederick Douglass.
Okay. So there's going to be some cut, if I may, because I'm loving what you're saying. You put me on point on what's happening. So you're basically saying there's going to be some cuts of services with this move. That's what you're anticipating.
Well, that's what I'm anticipating. Now, the school board members, and I've reached out to all of them. I got the response. I got one response from the school board president, Eve Bolton. She was gracious enough to respond to me. And what she shared with me was that they anticipate the autistic services to be at the school. However, they can't guarantee that because of their negotiations that are ongoing with the Cincinnati Federation of Teachers.
Okay.
So
I think that's a legality. I think that's a legality that she's covering. She's basically trying to cover herself this is just my opinion from what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like that they're going to end the special needs situation. They're just in negotiations with the teachers union to see what if that negotiation doesn't turn out right and they go on strike or something. She just gave you an empty promise of, we're going to have that special needs class, but we won't be able to facilitate it because the teachers aren't here. That's kind of what that sounds like to me.
Right. No, I agree with that.
It doesn't sound like
she gave no guarantees. Right.
Right. I think that's just somebody that's sharp on their feet not to make any guarantees when in fact there's negotiations coming up. However, I can't speak for them, but my guess is they have all intention to keep those services. But now here's my question about moving the kids over and moving this and this and this and that. Are they getting rid of the teachers that are like the students that are coming from one school to the other school? Are the teachers coming with those kids? You see what I'm saying? Are they?
That's all to be negotiated.
Okay. Because if the teachers aren't coming, now we have an argument of these classes are going to be almost twice, bigger than before. They might be twice the size. And, teachers, they're going from a 30-room, classroom to maybe a 45 or a 50, which could be out of hand for one teacher. You see what I'm saying?
Well, sure. Yeah. And the Frederick Douglass is a K through 6 school already. So think about it. You put in a whole nother school over there. So you're going to have 2 K through 6 schools currently right now, all in one.
I understand.
So there's got to be some level of overcrowding. Even if they bring the teachers over there, where are they going to put all these students?
Well, I don't know. Are the schools okay? I'm sure that all these schools are different sizes as far as enrollment. All right.
Correct.
So if you have an enrollment of 1,200 in one school and you're bringing 600 over, okay, maybe the school that has 1,200 in it could facilitate 2,000 students, which would be about 1,800. Maybe they have empty classroom. See, I don't know the logistics of what's going on. I don't know if one building is big enough to consolidate 2 schools. Maybe that's what they're looking to do. I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody, but that's just how my mind functions. But like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. I say that lightly.
No, I understand.
So I don't really know.
There's so many questions. That's what I'm saying. This is the point. There's so many the questions you got are some of the questions that I got that's not outlined in this 74-page report.
Okay.
Like I read what they put out to the public, page to page.
Are they saying anything about these classrooms that the classrooms will get bigger as far as the student count?
They've been silent on that. The document doesn't speak to the.
See, for me, that's the information that I would be more important to know. I
Well,
would want to
yeah.
know, okay, if we're doing this consolidation, it's one thing, bro. Like, for instance, Withrow is a huge school, but
Right.
it might be able to hold, and I only know Withrow as a high school. Like, it might hold 2,000 kids, or it might have a capacity of 2,000 students, but it only have enrollment of 1,400. Maybe
Right.
they can house another 600, and that's why they would bring 600 kids to that school. I don't
Well,
want it.
yeah. Okay.
I don't want it to be a situation where it's vice versa, where it really can only hold 1,400, but they about to bring another 600 over, gonna give us 2,000 kids that only has capacity. You know how they do the Justice Center sometimes.
Well, yeah,
You know what I'm
right. But that's
saying?
what I'm saying. Like Withrow used to always, even when I was in school, it was always a high school. It was never a junior high.
Right.
It became a junior high, after my time had passed. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
when I heard they was going to the 7 through 12 model for all the high schools anyway, I mean, I was like, okay, I wonder where they're going to find the space for these extra kids. They ain't changed no buildings at Withrow or Hughes or West High, or nothing like that.
So,
You know,
let me ask you, what is the major concern of parents that are complaining, or what, I shouldn't say complaining, but what concerns are they showing at the meeting? I mean, is it the fact that they don't want these kids to have to travel to these new schools, or is it that they think it's going to be overcrowded? What's the argument of the parent?
well, I think here's the thing, because I don't want to speak for every parent. Me
Right.
just being, one individual parent with my kid in the scenario in the East Corridor, my main concern is to make sure that he maintains the autistic services that he's already getting at Evanston Academy.
Okay.
Okay, because him moving from Evanston to Frederick Douglass over to Wanda Hills really ain't that big of a deal.
You just want
But
your
the problem
services to
is, if
stay.
you got to move these kids and you're not guaranteeing any services,
Right.
then that becomes a problem for me, because now me and his mom will have to figure out other options
I understand.
for him to get the services. Now, I understand she can't guarantee that, but as a taxpayer, as a parent, I'm going to force that issue to get the guarantee. I may not get it, but as a taxpayer and a parent, I'm supposed to ask for that. I have my position. So for
I
the other
understand.
parents, now what I've heard more so from other parents is that, it's a traditional thing too, right? Like Frederick Douglass is a school that has been known for years in the community for, educating Black students in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And I think there's some concerns about overcrowding, although those haven't been necessarily addressed. And also, people have shown concerns about the pace of movement. Like, they want to do this all, have this done by the beginning of next school year. You know what I mean? And I think people don't feel like they've been engaged enough and had their opinions heard as it relates to these consolidations.
Okay.
So, and then like the busing situation is another issue. Like, there's going to be some kids who have to go to different schools, and it will impact busing.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then other people are concerned about going back to junior high schools. Like, what does that look like now? We haven't had those probably in a decade now, and now you're bringing those back.
Wait a minute.
How do you
help me understand that again, bro? Did you say that there has not been junior high schools in Cincinnati for years now?
At least like, I want to say 8 to 10 years, because they
Really?
combined. Yeah.
So
they
elementary. Sorry, I'm slow.
Go ahead.
You know I'm a C student. Listen, bro. Are you saying that they had elementary up to what, the 8th grade? Is that because junior high to us was the 7th and 8th grade, right?
Right. So what they were doing was, in most of the high schools, they consolidated the 7 through 12, like how they got it at Wanda Hills,
Mm-hmm.
and like how they got it at Performing Arts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they went to a model about 8 to 10 years ago where they took out, Clark Montessori used to be a junior high school back in the day when it was Peoples. Remember Peoples?
I remember Peoples.
So Peoples was over there at the site where Clark Montessori is at now, and it was just 7 through 8. Like, remember Gamble? It used to be just 7 through 8.
I went to Gamble. That's what I'm saying to you. That was junior high, 7th and 8th
Right.
grade.
So they built those out. To become high schools. Like, they kept the junior high there, but then they built them out and kept the students there, like at Schroeder. My cousin went to Schroeder, 7 through 8.
So
they
high
built
school
that out.
So high
to be
school
going to 12th grades, right?
Excuse me. So high school actually started from. You're really a freshman in high school at the 9th grade. I understand that, but you're saying the 7th graders were actually at the high school. It was at the 7th through 12th.
Correct.
Okay. Stephen Speed just put it in there.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you,
everybody
Steve.
else is going K through 6. Now, there's been complaints about some, whether it's teachers or whether it's parents, whatever like that, that the 7th and 8th graders are off the chain. Now, Wanda Hills and Performing Arts has always had junior high in the high schools. It's always been like 7 through 12, performance like K through 12. That ain't never been a problem. But for some of these other schools like Woodward, like now they 7 through 12, Hughes 7 through 12, with those 7 through 12. AK 7 through 12.
Let me just say
West
this,
High.
if I may. I will
go
say
ahead.
this. As a parent, if I had a kid in high school or junior high, let's go to junior high. If I had a 7th grader, because this shit, I don't know if they're in junior high now, if they all go into the high school, but if I had a 7th grader, I don't know if I would feel comfortable with my 7th grade daughter going to school with 7 through 12, with 12th graders. I don't know if I would really want that. I'm just speaking from today's culture. I mean, it's just too much influence in today's world for me to think that my baby is safe in the 7th grade with 12th graders, because the things we talking about with the Jay-Z's and all that old shit right now. I mean, 12th graders are no different. They more advanced than the 7th grader. They just more advanced, and younger kids stepping into a bigger spot could be heavily influenced. All right, there's more influence coming from older kids. I mean, that's what we see on the streets. It's always the older kids bringing the young kids into something and making them feel like they part of something. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know as a parent. Now I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just giving you based on what you're telling me, Black Russian.
Yes.
I wouldn't feel comfortable with a 7th grade. I don't even know if my 8th grader is ready to be in high school with 12th graders. I don't know.
No, I understand. I get it. And
especially
it's
with
not
daughters.
For every kid. It's not for every kid. Especially you got daughters. Yeah. I mean, 7 through 12. I went to Wanda Hills. 7th grade through 12th grade. Hey, as you get older and you see kids coming in there, we see as a sophomore, junior, senior, we see the 7th and 8th graders coming in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey,
let's
there's
keep
some
it
guys
100.
who got a different mind about it. But it wasn't nobody safe at 7 through 12, even at Walnut, at Performing Arts.
Yeah.
There was nobody safe there.
Yeah,
so
let's
now,
keep it 100. Let's
ahead.
keep it a little 100 from a father's point of view, from my perspective. If you have daughters that are developed a little bit more, than you got some little 7th grade girls and 8th grade girls that are bodied up like a senior in high school.
For sure.
And you don't want these older guys influencing these younger, because older guys influence young girls all the time. You see what I'm saying? That's like that's what older dudes do. But you don't really want that. And then not to mention that the older girls could also influence and manipulate these younger. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Now Tracy Dillingham said something.
I was in 8th grade. I had a little girlfriend up to sophomore.
Okay.
I was an 8th grader. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you go play on, player.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Well, hold on.
To your point.
Hold on. Let me say this real fast. Tracy Dillingham said something. Let me go back to it. She said, hold on. Let me get back to it, because I was trying to hold it, but the screen was moving so fast. She said something about the gangs. Hold on one second. Let me find it. Give me 1 second, sis, because I don't need you coming in here lying. Hold on. Now we serious with her. Let me be serious with her, because she coming here with these damn lies and shit, because y'all married and told y'all ain't no gangs in Cincinnati. So she said this. Tracy Dillingham said this. She said rival gangs will be in the same schools. That's a lie. You know why that's a lie, TD? You know why that's a lie, Tracy? Because y'all don't have gangs in Cincinnati. Right. You don't have gangs in Cincinnati. So how in the hell would a gang in Woodward have a problem with a gang in Withrow? Y'all don't have gangs. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying, sis. You know what I'm talking about, Black Russia? Wasn't we told that there ain't no gangs in Cincinnati? So you don't have to worry about what Tracy talking about.
Right, yeah, I heard that before. I would not worry about the gang situation. I mean, it's about these kids who can't handle being in high school. At the end of the day, like, it's a special environment at Walnut and Performing Arts. Like, these other schools where they ain't got their parents ain't treating them right or whatever like that. They don't know how to act when they get around old kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it's coming down to, because this don't happen every.
I'm not going to say that Walnut Hills is special, because that would sound bad, but they do have kids whose parents are a little bit more engaged in their education. So that will allow kids to be a little bit more zoomed in and focused on education versus some of the things, the distractions that some of the other kids may have. You see what I'm saying? Or performing arts. You have to test to get in performing arts. You might be an art major or art person, and you have art to focus on, and you're not really worried about what a 12th grader doing. So you're not as easily distracted when you're around older kids, because you know what I'm saying? You focused in on what your artistic craft is. It's just different. But when you go to, damn it, if you was to put Porter kids, y'all don't know, this is down the way. If you was to put some 7th and 8th grade kids from Porter over to Taft, it's going to be a problem for some of them 7th and 8th graders. Even back in my day, it would have been a problem. Them 7th and 8th graders would have been trying to be like the seniors. They would have wanted to hang out. They would have started smoking cigarettes. Withrow was the first school that I ever went to that had a smoking section. They need their ass kicked for that. Now, I'm just being honest with you. I went to a school. This is the first school I ever went to. Do you remember them days, Black Russia? Does anybody else remember the days that the high school had a section for kids, for people to go smoke cigarettes?
Yeah, we had one in Walnut. It was on
man,
it was on the back of the parking lot.
Do those sections still exist in high school?
So what?
Do you know if those smoking sections still exist in high school?
No, I couldn't tell you. I would say no.
Can anybody tell me if they still have smoking sections in the high schools? Because guess what happens? Your 7th grader is gonna start smoking because they see the 11th and 12th graders over there looking cool, and that shit is cool.
They was smoking joints out there. It wasn't just no cigarettes. They were smoking weed.
I don't want my younger people. Now look, this is all about budget. I understand this is about the money.
Well, supposedly, $200 million. That's the number one thing. Yeah, but it's also about appeasing these teachers unions too, because they have to negotiate with these unions about who gonna stay, who gonna go, who get what money, that money. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, and I'm not trying to go down on anybody or come down on anybody, or I don't want no smoke with anybody with this statement, but it's funny how people always talk about how teachers don't make enough money. And I get it. They don't make as much as Jerry Rice. They don't make as much as Jamar Chase. I get it. I get that. But, it always comes down to when it's time for the teachers to get paid, it always shuts down the kids. It's like the kids get the bad portion of those negotiations. But here's what I think needs to happen. I think they need to do a whole evaluation of the spending. I think they need to do a whole evaluation, because I think, quite frankly, it's like anything else. We argue and we fight about how much CEOs make and vice presidents and presidents make, but we never talk about how public school administrators get paid. And I'm talking about the upper people. I'm talking about the people like in Baltimore. There's no reason why and I know I'm gonna sound like a hater, but when you have that much failure in your public school system, there's nobody that should be making $500,000 a year on a job overseeing a bunch of failure. That's just, to me, is that I just don't understand how you budget for somebody to be such, to lose that much. So I think a revamp, the whole system needs to be looked at. Who's getting paid for what? We overpaying for this. Not only the salaries. I'm not suggesting that they get paid too much and all of that. I'm suggesting the spending overall, the spending, like the contractors. Remember when the lady from the union came on and talked to Mr. Ware on his radio show, and she went in on Miss Wright about Miss Wright sending contracts to her friends or family or whatever from out of town, or what she didn't say it was her friends and family. She just said she was sending contracts to out of town people. We don't know if those contracts was actually saving. Those were vendors. We don't know if they were saving money. You see, the argument would have been, why would you send these contracts to Dallas, Texas, and it's the same price as the contractor we using right here in Cincinnati, and they're doing a good job? The argument would have been, you're paying more money for that vendor in Dallas, Texas than you're paying the one here in Cincinnati. Why would you make that? I didn't hear any of that in her argument. I heard that she was sending contracts to people out of town. But what I didn't hear is if it was a good thing to do financially. And when you have a proper CEO, or when you have somebody who brings in a project manager, their job is to cut spending in places like contracting, putting the job out there, pricing it, bidding it out. And see, what I heard was a bunch of, they just didn't like her and was using this as an excuse and couldn't justify it. You see what I'm saying? Didn't really justify it in a way like, okay, she's sending these contracts out of town. Okay, show us how that's bad. You see what I'm saying? Show me how it's bad to send it to someone out of town. If it's costing you more money locally, why not send it to somebody else, or give the local guy an opportunity to match the out of town price? That's how you save $20,000, $30,000. That's how you end up saving $100,000 over different type of contracts that's out there. That's how you do it. But what happens, Black Russia, is this, and then you can close us out. When you ain't spending your money, it's always easier to mess it up. You understand what I'm saying? When you spending taxpayer dollars, that's why they have such budgetary problems, because they always spending free money. When you do money bad, you usually get bad outcome. And that's where they are right now. A lot of bad, wasteful spending, and it's time to revamp it. And unfortunately, they either going to get these kids situated the right way, or the kids are going to pay the cost of bad spending. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna be watching the meeting tonight, and I'm actually gonna probably testify as it relates to the situation on Zoom. So we'll see what happens.
I think you have a strong argument. If being the parent that you are, I think you have a legitimate reason to be there, to focus in or say something, because you have a kid in public school that has a special need, and you were not guaranteed. I personally think that the new lady they have in there, I don't think that she's going to do anything that's going to mess up what you got going on. I trust and believe that she's going to try to do what's best for the city of Cincinnati children. I really do, because she's a Cincinnati person herself. I trust and believe that she's going to do what she needs to do. But I watched how they did that Miss Wright lady. Do you understand what I'm saying? I watched
they did her bad.
Well,
they did her real bad. And what that's the end of the day. That's the CFT for you. Now they got who they want in there, and now they're going to do this restructuring thing. And it's a situation where, they're going to just push you back and make you eat a shit sandwich.
What's her name? What's the new superintendent's name again?
The first one?
No, not Miss Wright. The lady that's in there now.
Shauna Murphy.
Shauna Murphy. Shout out to Shauna Murphy. I expect. Look, I reached out. I told her congratulations, and she shot me back a message saying thank you. And I hope, being a hometown person, and college is from Cincinnati. I think she went to Xavier, something of that nature as well. She's a hometown body, and I hope and I wish her well. I hope it works out. But I want everybody to know, I'm going on the record, I don't think what's going on right now, you can't put any of this on her. I don't think you can blame her for anything that's going on right now for this realignment and all of that. She's probably doing the best job she can do with what she has to work with right now. And when you have a $200 million deficit.
I'm gonna call bullshit. I mean, look, she's been in the system for the last 35 years.
Okay.
She's the former principal at Woodward.
Okay.
Now, look, here's another article. Did you see this article that WCPO put out about the school to prison pipeline going on in Cincinnati public schools?
I did.
Now, look, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Now, she was the president of Woodward for at least a decade. All right. I know people who actually went there and they was the principal. Do you think she did anything about that?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Repeat that. You say she was a principal at Woodward High School for
about a decade, right?
Okay, 10 years or more,
right?
Or
and
less.
So we see articles coming out about the school to prison pipeline that's been going on, which we already knew has been going on anyway, right? It ain't no new news. The question becomes for me, well, what is she doing, superintendent, to try to shut that down?
Well,
I mean,
once
she didn't
again,
do anything. I don't care if she's homegrown. I don't care about that. That to me is, I'm not giving her no cover for it.
I'm not giving her any cover for it.
Job.
Bro, I'm not giving her any cover for it either. I ain't got nothing but love and respect for you, because you go hard on your messages.
No doubt.
But now I have to say, I got to go back to stand on my circle about when people want to blame the school system for kids, in the situations that they're in educationally. You got to understand, a lot of these people that are in education are handcuffed. Like they have to make their numbers. They have to do certain things to keep the school going. But here's the other thing. Whenever I see a kid fail, it's not always, and I'm not saying in all cases, when I see a kid go from the school to the prison pipeline and all that old talk, it's not always the school's fault.
Of course not. I'm not saying that. No, go ahead.
I know you're not saying that. What I'm saying, in most cases, I will stand on that. In most cases, there's a collapse at home. And in these schools, public schools are pretty much handcuffed with these students, and they do the best they can to try to move these kids along and have as little bit of casualties. They don't want the other kids to have too much, to do with those kids, but they kind of handcuffed. There's nothing they can really do about it. They can kick them out. They can do whatever they do, but then there's other issues with that. That's why you have a lot of these charter schools that are full now. Because Cincinnati Public School gave them all they had, and then something tragic has to happen. Now, I don't want to call it tragic, but something out of the ordinary has to happen for some of these little girls, like have a baby, or a kid go off to 2020 and got to spend a year and a half. Now he's out, he's then out outaged himself in high school, so now he has to go over to one of these charter schools or something. That's not really the school's fault, because the home support system is not there for a lot of the kids. That's like when you talk about those homeless. How many kids in Cincinnati Public Schools that are homeless? They don't want to hear the sad truth of it. But when you say a kid is homeless, is it just me? Do you look at the fact that the parents must be going through something, or something's happening in the parents' life that they can't provide a home for their kid?
Of course. Like when they don't come to school with hats and clothes and they have to cancel school because they don't have those. Like the other day when they canceled school on that Thursday last week, shit, it was like 50 degrees outside. It wasn't cold, but the next day was colder than the day they canceled.
The day that they canceled, it was cold. It was cold as hell. But but I understand where you're coming from. We would have went to school back in our day on that day. I get it. A lot of us, and you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't gonna say the guys' names because I love them and respect them. When we were growing up, we had to walk to school. It didn't matter how cold it was and how many foot of snow it was. We had kids that didn't have nothing. I had brothers out there that was walking to school from Laura Holmes down to St. Joseph, or going to the damn Washburn down there and it was 10 degrees outside. We still had to go to school, and they had on windbreakers. Didn't even have coats, windbreakers, bro. So, I mean, it's a different day now. I get it. And I think it's for the safety of the kid. I ain't going to argue that. I'm not going to be mad at the fact that, they keeping kids home. They have makeup days. It's not a free day. They just make it up later. So I'm just going to stick with whatever they doing. But at the same time, bro, like, I'm looking at the fact that we keep blaming the school for the outcome of the student, when in fact, a lot of these students, a lot of these parents, teachers reach out to parents and they don't get anybody. How do you engage in a kid that don't have any adult engagement at home? You see what I'm saying? You some of these parents are trying to make the schools raise their kids. And that, they think that the school is supposed to get these kids morals and respect. You're supposed to have that when you get there, and it gets stronger as you're there. Not that's where you learn it. That's just my opinion. I just think that we got to understand that the school system is not to be everything for these kids. It's supposed to teach you an education. It's supposed to educate you to the things that you're ignorant of when it comes down to the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. That's just my opinion. The moral and the respect and the accountability is supposed to come from the family.
I get it. I totally agree with that. I don't, expect kids to go to school and get everything they're supposed to get from the school that parents are supposed to provide. That's not an expectation. My expectation is to get educated and for them to do the best job they can to educate the kids. Now, there's some disruptors in there, in some of these schools. Like, that's why go back to my point. That's why they got to separate out the junior highs. Because
Right.
there's some junior high kids in there that's just acting crazy. And so for the sake of the other kids learning, they got to start separating.
Yeah.
But now it's going to cause all types of other unintended consequences,
Yeah.
And so we'll have to keep back and see what happens. My thing is, I fully expect this to go through. Okay, I don't expect them to slow this down. I would like for them to, but I don't expect this to get slowed down. So all I could do as a parent is just speak my piece and then deal with the consequences after that.
Yeah, I hear you, brother,
Yeah.
and I wish you
So-
all the luck in the world. But I'm going on the record to say this, man. And like I said, I'm a taxpayer in Hamilton County, and a large majority of my tax dollars go towards Cincinnati Public Schools. If you look at the property tax rate or property tax push out, but I'm gonna go on the record and say this, bro. I am not a fan of 7th graders and 8th graders going into high schools. I'm not a fan of that at all.
Well, that's okay. It's not for everybody. Like I said, there's certain circumstances like performing arts on Wanda Hills where that can work. But like some of these other schools, the Aikens and the Withos, and I ain't trying to shit on Witho, but West Highs and all that, they have different circumstances at those schools where 7 through 12 may not be the best scenario.
Are all
They
of
might be-
those schools involved in this? I know we're saying CPS, but are we talking about Withrows and the Woodwards, and are they
Yes,
going to
we're
be
talking about-
affected?
They're gonna remove all the junior high school kids from those schools. with the exception of Wanda and Performing Arts.
And send
And they're
them.
going to send those
Okay,
kids to
so where
other
does
schools.
where do Woodward where does Woodward 7th and 8th graders go? I'm just curious. Do you know?
Let me see. Let me put quick.
Does anybody know where? Okay, I'm just using the schools that I'm familiar with, like Withrow. Where do they 7th and 8th graders? Are they bringing junior high kids to the now? They're going to bring them over to Withrow and now make it a 7th through 12th. Is that how it's going? Because that's kind of
what they're going to do is they're going to send the kids from Withrow. That's Withrow, because Withrow kids, they're going to Evanston Academy over there in Evanston. Withrow kids, let me see. Well, actually, Clark kids, they're going to be going to Wilfred Paideia.
Man, I don't even know what that is, bro. I never heard of that.
Let me see here. Wilfred kids, I'm looking again. It's a whole list.
Woodward is already the high school, right? They don't have 7th and 8th graders there, right?
They got 7 through 12 there.
Oh, they have 7 through 12. So if they're already doing it, I'm not a fan of that, but they're already doing it. Is Withrow doing that same thing, 7 through 12? 12?
The Wilbur kids are going to they're going to some elementary school that they're moving the kids from. Here, if you give me a second, I'll pull up the entire list. Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay.
So
I'm just a little confused at this point. I was under the impression, based on our conversation, and I'm just talking while you do your thing. I was under the impression that the high schools were 9 through 12, and now they're about to bring 7th and 8th graders and incorporate them in the high school and make it a 7 through 12. I didn't realize.
Nah, they already did that. Now they're about to do the opposite, about to go back to how it used to be.
Oh, so now the 7th and 8th graders are going into elementary schools.
No, they're getting put out of the high schools and going to their own specific junior high schools.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I get that. But what happens, the consequences is the kids who are elementary school kids now have to vacate their building and be consolidated in another building to make room for the junior high kids. So now you're creating bigger schools, elementary-wise, and you're dropping the population of high school, and you're creating a whole new middle school thing.
I don't want to desensibilize, I don't want to be insensitive to this situation, but it sounds like a business deal because they're $200 million in the red, right? So it sounds like that they're just consolidating the schools and that they're trying to basically decrease their liabilities. It sounds like they're trying to eliminate some of these buildings so they can cut costs. And
they already got. As I'm saying, they already reported too that they got a surplus of buildings, but they don't want to sell them because they would have to sell them to charter schools, and so they view it as
competition.
We're going to create competition. So they'll sit on the building instead of sell it for the purpose of not creating more competition with charter schools. So they have a whole bunch of schools they can send these kids to parse them out. The thing is, they choose not to, and because of efficiency or whatever, but they won't sell the buildings that they have to the competition.
Okay.
So now they got a surplus of buildings just laying around that they're not using.
I'm going to read up on it a little bit more. Because
here's a good example too.
Okay, go ahead.
For Western Hills, right?
Okay.
They got 7 through 12 right now, right? They're going to cut the 7th and 8th grade at Western Hills. They're going to send those kids to Ethel Taylor. And all the kids at Ethel Taylor are going to get sent to Roll Hill.
Roll Hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're going to be going, yeah. So they're going to have Ethel Taylor is going to become a junior high school. Leap Academy is right now. They're going to put other 7th through 8th grade kids there too. And Ethel Taylor kids, the preschoolers, they're going to be combined with Roll Hill. Okay.
Okay.
So then you got, they ain't said about Hayes Porter, but what they're going to do is they're going to send Taft Elementary kids to Rising Stars at Vine Street.
I guess I just need to know what are those lateral movements, or what's the effect of moving the kids there when it comes down to classroom size and services? Is anything going to be declined?
Right. That's the thing they never spelled out in this report. It's 74 pages. They never said anything about classroom sizes. They never said nothing about teacher to student ratio after these moves. All right, so all the kids from Hughes and Woodward who are 7th and 8th grade right now, they're going to go to South Avondale. So you're going to take the 7th and 8th graders from Hughes and Woodward and combine them into South Avondale. all the kids in South Avondale, they're going to get moved to Rockdale.
Okay. Yeah, if you don't mind, you say you're going to the meeting tonight, or you're zooming into it or something like
I'm going to
that?
zoom in.
Okay. Can you get back with me and let me know how, if they have any answers to if the school sizes, as far as classroom sizes, will be affected? You know what I'm saying? The things that could really, because look, I don't know if sending 600 kids to another school, and that school now being 600 kids larger, is necessarily messing the school up or not. I can't say that. I don't know the size. I don't know the capacity of the school.
Well, that's the thing. Why? But that's what I'm saying. Nobody really knows because they
I
didn't
feel you.
spell it out like
I
that.
feel you. Whenever you don't get facts, okay, when they're not being clear, that's a red flag to me. I don't want to be negative. I'm just being honest with you. It's like when people, like the railroad, when nobody's being clear about what's going on, all right, there's generally some shit that you can be arguing of what they're trying to do. And people don't want strong arguments, so they keep you in the dark. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like to me.
And so, like Aiken, for example, they're 7 through 12 right now. Those 7th and 8th graders are going to get moved to Pleasant Hill Academy. Okay. And so the Pleasant Hill Academy kids, the pre-K through 5, they're going to get moved to College Hill Academy.
Okay. Well,
and so like I'm just saying, I'm looking through the whole thing. It's just, it's quite a mess. I mean, kids that go to Hartwell who are K through 4, they're going to get moved to Carthage. And they're going to get moved to Bond Hill Academy. And they're going to turn Hartwell into a junior high school and a welcome center for the school, for the school district.
Well, I think it's important to know what services may be cut, if any, and what's going to be the classroom size. Is that going to change? Are they bringing the teachers over? Maybe one of the schools over there, I'm just using one just for argument's sake. Maybe the school has empty rooms, and they can afford to go in there and redo those rooms and turn them into classrooms. And those teachers will be coming over with those 600. They might be bringing 50 teachers over with those 600 kids. I don't know. See what I'm saying? And they might have
right. But that's what I'm saying. It don't have no plans for renovations to these schools. Like we don't know what they got to, how much money they have to invest to create a situation where kids are now in junior high environments. You know what I'm saying? Or whether you could accommodate the bigger sizes of elementary school kids. Because you could put them all in one school, and it's like you could open another building maybe if you had the resources. But like you said, it's a money first thing. $200 million in the red. Shit's got to change, but like at this rate of speed is what everybody's concerned about, and the outcome nobody really knows. That's the issue we're gonna run into.
Yeah, dig that. All right,
and they're gonna pass a whole plan and not have all these questions answered. We're gonna just
I don't like when they do that. This it's a tax-driven business. You owe not only just the parents, you owe taxpayers an explanation of the plan. I mean, that's just what I would think. I would think that we would get an actual blueprint of what you're trying to do, other than just telling us what you're doing and not being real specific about why. We know why, okay? We can see the consolidation, but we need to know what is going to be the impact to the kids. That's the first priority. The first priority should be, how is this going to impact the kids? Are people like you, Black Russia, being the parent that you are with a special need kid, how is this going to impact you, if any impact at all? Is it just going to be a 10-minute more drive to school, or is it going to be we can't really depend on if those services are going to be available? Those answers should be part before they take a vote. Everybody should have a clear understanding of what's going on.
Right, but it's too many variables given the teachers union, and it's a mess. So I'll keep you posted. I'll report back tomorrow.
All right, brother. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time, man. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks, Wyatt.
All right, bro. That was Black Russia. He'll report back and let us know. I'm just curious to know. I was sitting here arguing I wouldn't want my 7th and 8th graders going to school with 12th graders, and it's already happening. I mean, I'm so far removed from high school, junior high now with 2 kids in college that I don't know. But my girls never went to, they were done in junior high in the 8th grade and went off to high schools. See what I'm saying? They didn't go 7th and 8th grade in high schools. They didn't do that. And I wouldn't have wanted that. My wife and I, influence of kids. I don't care how much of a parent you think you are. I don't care if you think you an all-star super mom or super dad. There ain't nothing out here stronger. We can think that we the strongest influence in a kid life. The truth of the matter is they always going to find a group of friends that could really steer them in a different direction. Say something different. do something different. That power of peer pressure is a serious thing. And no matter how much we think we doing for our kids, there's somebody out there that can say something and influence them to do something totally opposite of what you're trying to teach your kid. And I just think that that generally happens. It happens with kids who are around adults all the time, who get that master manipulation trait in them, and they smoking cigarettes and doing that street shit all the time. And then there's older kids that do that. And then the young kids want to be part of what the older kids are doing. It's human. It's like a natural human thing, to me. I would not want my child. I'm sorry. And I think they said Woodward is doing it. Probably Withrow is doing it. I wouldn't want my 7th grader going to school with high schoolers. Maybe they have it separated enough. I remember when I was in the 7th grade, I was in New Orleans. I lived in New Orleans, and they removed us because New Orleans, anybody that know New Orleans education, if you know anything, let me see if I can pull this up for you real fast. I want to show you let me see if I can find this real fast. I'm going to give you a firsthand, as long as I can find it. Let me see if I can find this real fast before we get out of here. New Orleans education is a little bit different. Okay. And it is not, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. It's the parents are not as engaged as they should be. Okay. They're not as engaged as they should be. And I remember in the 7th and 8th grade, the high school, I went to Carr Junior High, and they had Carr High School as well. But the parents were not as engaged as they should have been. And we had 7th and 8th graders that would jump. See, they had us out in trailers. I mean, the junior high was on the land of the high school, but it was kind of tucked off somewhere else. And we were in trailers. Literally, our classroom were trailers. And we had to go to the big building, which was, the high school, for lunch. The library, the lunch, and all that was over there. But man, we had some 7th and 8th graders that would skip school, skip our side of the school, and go over to the high school and hang out with the badass kids. And hang out, fail, drink, do all the stuff that the high schoolers was doing. And that's my experience of junior high school. Actually, I was in the 8th grade. I'm sorry. I went to Gamble Junior High in the 7th grade in Cincinnati. I probably went to three junior highs. I went to Gamble Junior High in the 7th grade. I went to Eisenhower Junior High in the 8th grade, but I started out the 8th grade and then I ended up in New Orleans and finished the 8th grade in New Orleans and then went to high school there. So it was crazy. I went to 3 junior highs, and all of them were connected to high schools. And all the 7th and the 8th graders was banging out, going crazy, trying to be big and strong and bad and all that old shit, and wanted to play with the older kids. All of them, everyone I went to. And like I told you, when I went to one school, Withrow, when I got back to Cincinnati, I went to Withrow for a year and a half, and they had a smoking section. Like they literally had a section outside officially for students to go smoke. I just was an athlete, so I didn't smoke, but I used to watch girls and guys go out there and smoke, trying to be grown, looking all cool and all that old shit. I just never understood it. I mean, I just didn't understand it. Maybe smoking wasn't seen as what it is today. But it's a starter kit. It's a starter kit to where, the next thing they're going to start smoking is a joint. Because they want to be cool with the cool kids. Who in the 7th grade start smoking cigarettes? Why? Why your nerves so bad? Like people that smoke cigarettes, they say people that smoke cigarettes have bad nerves or whatever. They go to these nerves. They need the nicotine to calm down or whatever. What 7th grader or 8th grader has so many damn problems that they have to start smoking cigarettes? That's an influencing. Most people that start smoking cigarettes because they was around somebody that was smoking. They've been influenced. I don't need my 7th and my 8th graders around high schoolers. I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, I'm going to continue this thing about Diddy tomorrow. I got a video I want to show y'all. I think Cat Williams tried to tell y'all it was up for them. I don't care who you are. 2024 is going up and you're going to get exposed. Ain't that what he said? I got a video I'm going to show you tomorrow, and I think the man was telling the truth. But until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on Wyatt Live. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for all the birthdays. Hey, make sure you go get you one of those VC boxes. This is what you get them for Christmas. I'm telling you. Dave Ross, check him out. He shipped so many. He sent me a picture and he went on live. He showed me so many of these boxes that he's shipping out. Go save you some money. Ladies, this is the dopest gift that you can get. Yo, man, you want to keep his ass in the house? You want to keep him in the house? This is it. You want to keep his ass in the house? This is it. All the ESPNs, all the pay-per-views, all of the what is it? Showtime, HBOs, and all of it on that box. Let me see. What did he? I think we still got the code going on. Yeah. Normally $275. If you hit him up today or before Christmas, you'll get the Wyatt price of $225. But you got to give him the code Wyatt. He ain't gonna mess with you if you don't get that code Wyatt. You cannot get that $225 price. Dave, I got to get one for that $225, bro. I got to get one for that $225. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll catch you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Honey, I see you looking at me. I'm ready to go with you if you want
Sexy.
me. 'Cause baby, there's no one that makes me smile the way that you do. You one of a kind. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want, you know I got it. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. As long as you want, you know I
We've
got
been
it.
together for a few years, shed a few tears, called each other nicknames like Sugar Plum and Pooh Bear. I'm always on the road, hardly ever home. Always busy this, busy that, can't talk on the phone. I know you aggravated, walk around frustrated, patience getting short. How longer can you tolerate it? Listen, ma, I'm just motivated. I do this for us, stuck on the grind, trying to elevate it.
Hey, yo, to really be honest, you stuck with me through my whole struggle. Can't even express through words how much the kid loves you. I'ma stand as a man, never above you. I could tell that you different from most, slightly approach you. And the ill shit about it, we don't sex every day. But when we sex, we tease in a passionate way. Love the way you touch it, those little elaborate ways. Got the guard feeling released to relax for the day. It's on you,
Baby,
ma.
if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want, you know I got it. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. As long as you want, you know I got it.
Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want, you know I got it. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. As long as you want.
Shh, mommy, listen. I feel your love for me, baby, and how it moved through you. I've been longing for the moment to talk the truth to you. Listen, I'm never home, I always get up and go. Putting you through the unnecessary rigmarole. I never meant to put 1,000 pounds of stress on your head. I love the way we sleep and how we always cuddle in bed. Baby, I stay embracing your patience, shedding your tears with me. I ask you, my mommy, please continue to bear with
We
me.
started out broke, constantly on the road, cutting up in the streets like we would never get old. Went from Lucy's and buses and 50-cent sodas and Novas to Hondas to Lexus to Rovers. Mad years past, still got each other back. Word is born, never screw none of these industry cats, boy. We like Skull and Molder, walking shoulder to shoulder, milking this game, watching our seeds getting older.
Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want, you know I got it. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. As long as you want, you know I got it.
Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want, you know I got it. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. As long as you want, you know I got it.
Yes, you know I'll die for you, and you know I'll ride with you. I will always try with you, and give you my love and cry with you. Let's go.
I will climb a mountain high until our love will touch the sky. So baby, come and get more close to me.
Alright.
'Cause this is where your love is supposed to be.
I
pull up to the house in the yellow Lamborghini. It's been a few months in PA, you haven't seen me. You looking good in that Gucci bikini. 38 carats, your ring looking freezy. No matter what I do in the world, you never leave me. Fall back, ma, I make your lifestyle easy. I appreciate the things you do to please me. Looking at my daughter, you never do me greasy.
Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want, you know I got it. Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. As long as you want, you know I got it.
Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you.